What's good, people? You know, I was debating on doing a video about this fragrance, but two things made me decide to go ahead and hit that record button. The first thing was somebody in the comment section actually asked me my thoughts about this fragrance. And the other thing, sadly, what led me to record this video is that I'm a big Parfums de Marly fan. And being such a fan of the house, when it comes to the content I make, I really try to avoid reviews, but you know, I'm a fan just like you guys of some of these fragrances in these houses, and I couldn't wait to see what this fragrance smelled like. And unfortunately, a lot of the decant losers, I even seen one loser, like he had a bottle. He was so desperate to get the video out early, like he had a bottle with like the crumbs, like the little bit left. Instead of a decant, he pretty much had a gigantic glass decant. I seen some other nitwit make 3 videos about the fragrance. Like one talking about it, he didn't have it. And the other 2 like apologizing for what a crap job he did giving out the wrong information. And all 3 videos, he did not have the fragrance. I think like the last video, he pulled out like Sedley or something. Like, I don't have the fragrance, but I have Sedley. And it's like there's so much stupidity and laziness and misinformation. Like, I don't care if you don't know anything, but I do care if you're genuine. And if you're like just pumping out content just for, I don't even know why at this point. Why would you make 3 videos about a fragrance that you don't even have and most likely will not get? Now, for that reason, that long-winded reason, yet not as long-winded as Troy D. Mall's 30-minute video from a decant, that's why I'm shooting this video. So let's get our geek on and get into some of these notes. In the opening, you have a pretty invigorating ginger and bergamot combination, a fleeting bergamot, unfortunately. I say that because that bergamot in there is really good. It reminds me of Guerlain's bergamot. If you haven't smelled the bergamot, Guerlain uses, you could take everything out of a fragrance and just have that one note of bergamot from Guerlain, and that's like a total fragrance right there for me. I would wear that one note all day long. You have some black pepper balancing all this out, giving it a little bit of masculinity, and some mineralic notes. It really gives this fragrance, if you look at the box and you look at the bottle, it gives it a gray suit type of feel. It doesn't smell the same as the fragrances I'm going to mention right now, but it's a gray suit feel in the same way that Chanel Superleggera is and Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. I'm not going to go back and forth comparing it to fragrances, but there are 2 fragrances that I find it very similar to. There's pretty much a aquatic pepper fragrance called La Selle d'Issy, I believe it is. And there's also a fragrance, one I absolutely can't stand, and this is almost like a really good version of that. And that fragrance is Ganymede. But don't worry, if you hate Ganymede, and I don't think you hate it as much as I do because I think it's disgusting. But if you hate Ganymede, you still might like this. And if you like Ganymede, you'll probably like this. There's some petitgrain in here, more in the texture of the fragrance than the scent, but there's just a touch of green in here. And in the base, you have this Akigaya wood, giving it a little maturity, a little class. Akigaya wood, to me, is kind of a dirty, slightly darker, older smelling wood, but this is like the clean version of it that really gives it a little bit of sophistication. A little bit of labdanum, giving it a light, kind of floral, leathery touch, like a suede cashmerean type of leathery touch. And neroli, just adding to the freshness. And the one note, this magical note, that's mostly hidden. I mean, you can smell it, but it's mostly hidden. But it is there doing its job. And in the final dry down is where it works its magic. And that's benzoin. The benzoin is the pretty packaging, the nice bow on this gift that is Parfums de Marly Castley. I'm going to give this a score. And please, this review is just for shits and giggles. Take it with a grain of salt because it just came out a week ago. But I promise you, these reviewers, you can go back and look at their bottle in 6 months and it's still not even going to have this dent in it. But I'm going to give this fragrance a 9 out of 10. And a hilarious 9 out of 10 because you have Creed kind of trying to go in the Parfums de Marly direction, which is always kind of tried hard to be niche. And now you have Parfums de Marly kind of going in that Creed direction where they're trying real hard to be classy. The winner of all this is us, the consumer, of course, because now we got so much more choice. But yeah, I'm digging the fragrance. I like it. The price for it might be a little too high for people. I think this cost me $370 directly from Parfums de Marly, which is the only place I know you can get it.
Good Lord! That's a lot of money!
I told you what it smelled like and what it costs. I'll leave if and when you're going to get it up to you. That's really all I got to say about Parfums de Marly Castley. I got to go see a man about a horse. And that horse is named Sarah Jessica Parker.